This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes, for your half-assed entertainment news with no bullshit, with our hosts, Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk 4 Media.
G'day, guys. Welcome to Behind the Scenes. I'm your host, Summer Helene, and I need a nap. We are on with my co-host, the baddest bear. I'm really tired.
You sounded like a news anchor. Like when they first come on, they have a little quip right there. But you said it in that tone. And I need, like, as if.
And I need a nap.
And I need a nap.
Yeah, and I need a nap.
You were saying you were introducing me?
Oh no, you don't matter. And my co-host, I'd call you the baddest bear in the cage, but our host, Mr. Ewell, is a much better fighter.
I'm sorry, our host?
Our guest. Our guest.
I'm giving you a hard time.
He can be the host.
It's our tired.
He can kick your ass. He can have whatever he wants.
Now I'm sleepy too.
It's our tired. We've been in Temecula all week working on a new reality show. I'm really excited about. It's called Queen of Temecula. That's the working title. It's not actually what it's called. I think it's called Unbridled.
People are going to steal it and just charge you for it now.
It's fantastic. I've been having a really, really good time. It follows Brandy Newman, her husband Ken, over at the Stampede, everyone working there.
Playboy model, business owner. God, she's done it all at this point.
She's amazing. She's really amazing.
Who was her helicopter pilot again?
Oh, Lorenzo Lamas is her helicopter pilot.
Driven around by Lorenzo Lamas via helicopter, so she's done it all. That is not an exaggeration.
She's a very, very cool chick. And so we're doing this reality show about her. And we were staying at her property, following her around, kind of, poking into her life. And she has covered wagons on her property.
Yeah,
it's really cool. She rents them as like an Airbnb.
Exactly.
And it's these covered wagons with like a bathroom and a massive bed. Bear loved the bed.
Yeah, anytime we get a king bed, I'm so happy. Because our bed, the only reason we don't have a king bed is because there's this beautiful frame that a twin bed sits on.
I have an antique bed. Sorry.
And it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I understand completely. But
I've got, excuse me, our sound engineer's asking us questions.
Oh, I know. We got to respect that.
I respect that.
Making
fun of my bed.
Talking about things that people do on beds that are really disgusting, because I didn't have a different way to segue that. What are we talking about just before we get to our special guest?
Oh my God. I'm like, okay. Bear is the goat. I like that.
Thank you very
Stone
much.
like-ish. He's not really. You should see who we've got on the show today. No, I guess he's kind of cool. He's cute. I like him. He'll do for now.
Are you trying to avoid talking about this story?
No. Oh my God. I'm so grossed out by this story. So I originally heard it on a show called Help, I Sexted My Boss.
That's a show?
That's an actual YouTube show. I fucking love it. I'd like to remind everyone, every time we use bad language, we give money to the Boys and Girls Club of America, the Humane Society of America, and Free MMA. We swear because we can.
And Free MMA is my nonprofit, so fuck yeah.
Ugh.
That give you the ick?
Anyway, no, this story gives you the ick. So this chick's house sitting for her parents, right? And so she's house sitting for her parents, and she's quite content hanging out. Well, her mom has a shoebox under the bed. Now, I know everyone out there is going, don't go in the shoebox. No good can come of going in that shoebox.
It's a special shoebox.
Well, she went in the shoebox and she found what you think she'd find. Then she used it.
Yeah,
she used her mother's battery-operated boyfriend.
Why? Like, what runs through your head and think, yeah, that is exactly what I want to do with my time here today. I'm supposed to be house sitting. Now you're supposed to be going through their stuff. I found a sex toy that belongs to my mother.
I would like to insert into my vagina what has been in my mother's vagina. Well, apparently it was the most
health-wise, that's not a good idea. Like, just
apparently it was the most amazing orgasm she'd ever had. It was the best sex of her life with this battery-operated boyfriend. She is like,
our cat's on the sink.
I need one of my assistants. We have a cat on the sink.
He's in the sink. Anyways, she put her mother's dildo in her vagina.
That wasn't how I was going to say that, but yes. And it was the best orgasm she'd ever had.
Yes.
Like it was the best sex of her life, was her orgasm with this battery-operated boyfriend of her mother's.
Yes.
She used it for 3 days. And then she found
3 days. That's 4 days more than you should have.
Embossed down the bottom, it's called Clona Willy. And she found out she was using a copy of her father's penis. The best orgasms she'd ever had in her life were brought to her by her father's penis.
If that ain't an Oedipus complex, I don't know what is.
No, Oedipus is wanting to sleep with your mother.
Can it be both?
No, I think that's a different word.
All right,
but
whatever.
All I got
Jesus
from Freud
Christ.
is that he wants to sleep with his mother. I liked Jung, but
and she's
Freud.
not helping disprove that.
No. Well, so long story short, she kept using it.
After knowing?
I
thought that story ended right there.
Penis, and she kept using it until her parents got back, and she hasn't found anything that worked as well.
I don't like where this is
and
going.
So she wrote in to help. What do I do? I can't find anything that works as well.
You know, this gives the daddy kink a whole new meaning to it.
Are you kidding me?
This is disgusting. Comment in either the comments on YouTube or on Twitter and tell us what you think. And would you use your mother's sex toy knowing that it was formed after your father's penis? Leave a like.
We have our special guest.
Yes, we do. Would you like to
cage fighter? Yes. We have. It's Ewok, I think.
No, it's not. Jesus Christ.
That
couldn't be further. You don't even like Star Wars. Why does that come to your head?
I don't know. It was EW and it was on your stuff and you've written it and your handwriting's sloppy. I think it's Mr. Ewok.
It is not. But how will we welcome our guest on? He can tell you his name himself. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you today?
I'm great. One, thank you for having me. And it's Andre Ewell. And I'm going to tell you from listening to this whole penis toy machine thing and the cat jumping on the sink, right? Mm-hmm. The cat got just as interested as I got interested in this story. It made me want to go ahead and grab a water for that one. I said, I'm missing popcorn right now. But how you guys doing?
We were doing better before we found out somebody was using a copy of their father's penis. That sort of ruined the morning.
Yeah, I could see in relationships.
It ruined her relationship with her boyfriend if she had one. He can never compare.
Well, no, you never tell. Like, there are things, we've all done things in our life where we're like, nobody gets to know. No one. Ever.
Yeah. I think everybody has those moments. So I sit there and say, yeah, I agree to this right now.
That has got to be the top. I am never going to tell anyone where I stuck my mother's.
I want to interview.
I hope she watched.
We should bring that person on as a guest.
Oh, I've been trying to get the guy. So we can't track her down.
Yeah,
she was anonymous on Reddit. There's no way she was going to turn around and be like, yeah, my name's Jill. I live down the street. Like, hi. Yeah. So Jill down the street. Now for you. I'm so. How do you segue from that?
How about this? Why don't you tell us?
There's no segue from I use penis modeled after my father to let's talk about the fight in Korea. Let's talk bare knuckle box. Like, how do you segue that?
That's actually kind of hard. It's kind of like a comedian that comes like right after someone that basically kills the show or kills the night, and it's like how do you follow up? Like right now, we've got penises, and then it's like, hey, Andre Ewell, okay. How we doing?
Well, I'm already getting hate for the Ewok thing.
Oh my God.
I'm really sorry. It was EW and his handwriting sucks. I thought it was Ewok. Stop sending Ewok pictures. Follow him online. Just if you want to make it better, follow him online. Where can everyone find you?
You can definitely find me on Instagram, Day42. And people that constantly keep saying die, it's Day. But spelled DAII 42. Boom. And then, and I have like a Twitter, and I'll be forgetting my Twitter. I ain't gonna lie. It's like extra stuff on it. But Twitter too, or even TikTok, Andre Ewell. Boom.
Perfect. Now we are at, okay, that's great. That's great. I one more Ewok, guys. Stop sending me Ewoks.
Well, how about this? Sir, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, About myself, I am a fun father that ends up enjoying violence that turned it into art, I guess you can say. I am a UFC vet. Most people that do know me or know much about me, it's that I am one of those prime example of a person that really loves what he does. Like, you put me in a cage, I'll turn it into a show and I'll try to steal the show. Granted, I end up coming short on some of those UFC fights, but these are those moments where you got to end up basically like the high risk, high reward type of ordeal. And I was fighting a lot of people that no one wanted to end up fighting. So, and a lot of people didn't want to fight me because just the fact is in who I am and how I kind of move about things. Had like the old mindset of things, if you kind of like think about it. But right now, I'm over here at Icon MMA, which is in Reno Valley, training with Sam Mason and Bobby Green and my boy Tony and, Eli. So we're all here as a family doing what we do best and putting everything into art. And shout out to Jasmine, just so, people end up understanding.
That's beautiful.
What I'm
man.
hearing from this is you enjoy getting in a cage with another man and fighting for your life. I think there is a classification of mental illness for that.
Thanks.
I'm just saying,
Yeah, we love
you're mad. You're mad. So what I'm getting from this is you're mad.
Well, so what made you want to legally commit violence? How did this all kick off?
Well, they always end up telling you as you're growing up, besides, hey, you want to be a doctor and whatnot. But everything of me growing up was always me fighting. And when I say fighting for something, fighting for lunch, fighting for dinner, whatever the case is, like basically putting the hands on to get what we need, and that was the lifestyle that I was raised in. If you want something, you got to work for it. If you want to be somebody, you got to work for it. And and basically where we are from or where I'm from and everything, and the statistic was I was supposed to land in jail. That was one of those high type of ordeal for us. And when you get that, that's the mindset. So you're trying to be different, but at the same time, what's calling you, it's this. And, but somehow I was able to get out of it. And what ended up landing was me turning into something that I know that I was good at. And plus, I didn't really want to place it where I'm like, hey, I just want to fight. I like fighting type of ordeal. It was just something that was embedded in my, my blood type of ordeal. But I kind of tried to move away from it. I was really good at sports, football, basketball, Heck, I just found out that I'm like okay at Frisbee golf. And then if they would have had it back then, I probably would have took that up, But, and then another hobby that I'm really good and great with is snowboarding. I'm a snowboarder, But these things.
Athlete.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you're an all-around athlete. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I just wish that talent can go into instruments, because I'm trying to learn how to play a guitar right now. And I promise you, Trojans in My Head by Atlas, the Atlas team, that is what I'm trying to learn as we speak. And I'm trash, but I'm working on it. So it's stuff like that. I end up finding interest in things, and then I try to push forward. So me fighting was one of those forced type of thing. Hey, you better do something, that you're good at. And if not, people are always going to look at you with no value. And it took a judge to look at me with no value. And I didn't like the look. And that look ended up breaking me. And it turned something that basically gave me hunger. And my hunger was, I'm great at fighting. Let me go ahead and take this up. And I sat there and told my coaches, in 2 years, I'm going to be in the UFC. When most people give you the laugh and giggles, they yeah, everybody says that. And funny moment, 2 years later, I was in the UFC. Boom. So it just shows you where you put in the work and put you where your mind's at, and you go all in. That's what ends up happening.
You envisioned it and turned it into reality. It's something a lot of people don't get, is you have to see yourself actually completing the goals to really get there.
You saw yourself joining a career where you wore little tiny booty shorts and wrestled around greased up with another man. That is what you saw.
They don't have to be short shorts. I'm just saying.
But you picked short shorts.
Vadotudos.
Yeah, no, I appreciate them. Listen, the less to grab onto, the better, in my opinion. I'm happy with it.
So what was your favorite shorts? This is an ongoing debate on the show. He likes the little booty shorts. And when I tell people what he does for a living, they think he's a stripper.
Hey, I used to be a stripper, so it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
I gotta tell you right now, that is not in your Wikipedia, sir. So that's insider information.
Look, I've been trying to tell them that it should have been, but they constantly keep taking it out. They say it doesn't fit. So I'm like, all right, whatever floats your boat.
That is fantastic. Like, no. That gets you set up with the next Magic Mike.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you, I'm like, I should have been on the first Magic Mike, the first movie. I should have been there. I told them, like, I sent in my videos. They said, hey, we're gonna go with Chain M, and I said, all right, it's cool, But when it follows up, just make sure I'm into the follow-up,
Make sure I'm there.
Yeah. But no, so I'm like more with the mid Muay Thai type shorts, where it's like because I'm a fan of my legs. I think I have good legs. I got tattoos to show them off, so I want to show them off. So especially when I'm kicking somebody, and granted, I'm more with the hands, but I got cool tattoos, so I kind of want them to see it and see pictures of me kicking somebody in the head with those shorts on. So yeah.
I like that.
When you first started out fighting, I read that you actually didn't have any amateur fights. You went straight into pro fighting. So what was that like for you?
Truth be told, it's wild because that could have been like my whole experience. So basically, I was like learning on the job in a way. But don't get me wrong, like I had the experience. Like I said, I fought,
Just not in the cage.
It was just like that. It wasn't in the cage.
Just without the audience.
And then they always end up saying like, "Oh, he's a sandbagger. He's a sandbagger," because like I could do things that I shouldn't be able to do. Like like I'd end up doing this submission. Like I could just look at it and be like, oh, "Okay, I can do this." Boom. Like I was a genius when it came to certain things. All I got to do is see it one time, and then once I end up seeing it, I can, rep, and then boom, I'm not able to knock it out. Like I had boxing, but my first experience of anything was wrestling, and then wrestling went into taekwondo, and then taekwondo went to boxing, and I just really love boxing. So my career kind of like died, and so everything kind of ended up fitting. So when they told me I couldn't do the amateur, I was actually okay with it because at that time my whole goal was to get to my first son's life. So, hey, if I put this out here, no one can tell me no. And that was the mindset because I was going through like a whole court system. And like I said, that one judge that looked at me with no value, that's what took me overboard. And I'm like, okay, I got to end up doing this, and that. And then if I become famous and big, you guys are not going to say no to me. Like imagine if I was Dwayne Johnson at the courtroom trying to be in his son's life. They're not going to deny me. Like, that was the mindset, but now, granted,
it kind of catches you like, I don't know if the judge did you a favor by treating you like shit because it put you on the right path, but I kind of am still having he sounds like a douche moment. Like, how dare you treat someone like they don't have value? I'm glad you proved him wrong, but I'm really kind of stuck there. Like, yes,
I'm stuck there too. No, like way in the place of it, because like I can end up telling the story a million times, right? And anybody that comes, they'll just, I don't get what you're saying, but and then I give you guys basically all the paperwork and be like, here, you read through it, you'll be like, damn, they really like fucked you over. Like, like, hey, it's a douche, they don't like you, whatever the case is. It ends up bowling. I can say it's just, oh, you're just talking. Yeah, I get it. But I give you the paperwork, you look at it, boom, different. It tells a complete different story. Judge didn't like it. It's just one of those things. I don't know. It could have been I ended up dating his daughter in the past or in the future that he ended up seeing regardless of the situation. He don't like me. That's what ended up happening. So I'm like, okay. So it put my mind frame into that. And like how you said, I placed it in God's hands. And at the end of the day, a lot, it's just going to say it went in a dark situation. Like, and I'm saying dark, it was really dark to the moment I tried to, like, in my life type of a deal.
Wow.
And this is one of those like feedbacks that I ended up speaking on in the past and now. Like anybody that ever or went through it or have went through it, it was one of those moments. My life was my first son. That was my life. Like, he was my lifeline for a deal now. And it easily got taken away. And I worked so hard to be in his life, worked so hard to be there. I was there. I was actually the father that was like trying to be there. And everything gets twisted around off of one person wanting power or one person that wanted to prove a point, and it's the daughter's father wanted to prove a point. And then you get these extra lies, and then you know that they're lies, but it's kind of like you sit there, it's like my whole life got destroyed in my, in one session into the next court session, and then the next, and then the next, and then I don't know. And it's one of those moments like I try not to be one of those like violent type persons, and I'm not that type of person. It's like I only end up fighting when I have to. I only end up doing things when I have to. Like I don't know if you like hell, you can end up looking at it on the style of the fights that I end up doing. I'm more of a counterer. Like if you end up looking at it, you don't really see me going first. I'm countering type of deal. And then when it's time, okay, push me to the corner, I gotta go. Like, the way that I am, if he's out of my fight style, it's just how it is, But then you get.
Oh, we had.
Maybe looks like we have some kind of brief connection issues. So
we're having a connection issue.
Okay.
Did we get him back?
Well,
I keep calling. Okay, I stopped that. I changed it, and now I try to call him Wally.
Why?
I don't know.
Andre Ewell. I don't understand.
I don't know. It's EW. It's the name trick.
EWELL.
Yes, but it's what's an English name? You think I wouldn't fuck it up?
Well, to be fair, you're a drunk English person.
I am not drunk. I'm totally drunk.
Yes. All right, my bad, y'all. Can you hear me?
It's fine.
Welcome back.
It's fine. You stopped him picking on me about alcoholism, so it was perfect timing.
Alcohol. Look, I'm actually surprised I haven't ended up jumping into alcohol. Like, it would have changed my life. But yeah, so I ended up having I was in my dark moments and dark times, but everything ended up happening. I ended up getting into a dark moment, but I'm working my way back out of everything. And right now it's all about catching up, all about fixing things and getting back onto the biggest platform possible.
Fair enough.
I think that's one of those. It's funny. The way I was looking at it was like maybe this judge did you a favor, but I don't think so. I think he went after you and you took a bright stance in a horrid situation. And I think a lot of people don't have that ability. How do you take such a horrific situation where what you care about is on the line, and when everything goes to shit, go, okay, I'm going to take a positive step rather than, doing what I do and go, well, crack a bottle of wine.
See, and that's why I ended up wishing. But in that moment, it was just like I stated, as you stated, it's that bigger piece, and that bigger piece was my boy Eli at the time. So that was me kind of moving around because I already made, like I stated, when I said I made the attempt, I literally made the attempt. If the gun didn't jam, I'm not here. That's the difference of here and not being here.
That's the universe looking out. Like that is God looking out. That is that you're supposed to be here. If that gun's jamming, you need to be.
And then so that was the bigger picture. And I'm looking at things like that. And after that, I start reevaluating things. And like I said, it's hey, they gave me basically lemons. What was I going to do with it? Made lemonade. All right. Now this is what we're able to do. 2 years down the line, thinking I was able to sit there and fix things. And granted that it moved into the direction where I was able to fix things, but they timed it and kind of another long story. But then you could tell that's what wavered my career because my heart wasn't really into the fighting now. It was just kind of me going half-assed, or I give you guys a great first round where, this guy has a lot of potential. He can do anything. He can be the next X, Y, and Z, the champ of all champs. And in the second round, I'm not even that person no more. It's kind of like my heart went out in the first round and I'm just carrying myself. And then that started to pick up and makes up its tone. It's more stress. And then, yeah, you guys, I can literally go into an awkward circle about this. But
you just described the fighting version of erectile dysfunction. Hear me out. When things aren't working and you start to stress about it, it makes it worse. I know I had this whole conversation with this dude on Reddit about that. But that is the fighting version of that. I've never thought
to compare it to Edie in my life.
I'm just saying that's the fighting version of that. It's stressing you out that you're not putting in what you need or bringing what you need to the cage, which stresses you out, which means you bring less of it. See, I have a point. I'm not just drinking.
Valid. Now, what you said, you got to the UFC after 2 years. What was it like to make it to that stage when you finally got the notice, the email, the call, whatever it was?
Well, one bright, beautiful news, but the first day that I did get the news, I promise you, my mind wasn't really even on set on like, hey, I got signed, because it was so much awkward things were going on that day. It's like right now we're trying to get a house, right? It was one of those like, hey, if I don't get this deal done, we're not, we're going to be like homeless at the time, right? Mm-hmm. And I promise you, it was me and my mom at the bank trying to get all this stuff settled. And I got a phone call saying, hey, it's your chance, brother. Yeah, they want you to go to the UFC. You just, and then, I'm like, I'm hearing it like, oh, yeah. Okay. But I'm not happy. I'm not smiling or anything. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. They want you to fight this person in Brazil. I'm like, okay, yeah. What's wrong? I thought you were going to be excited. And I'm like, well, right now I'm probably going to get, if I don't get this deal done, I don't get a house, like, and we're going to be like homeless. Mine's not even onto the fighting right now. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, and then he was like, oh, the ad is that, because at the time, the manager that I did have separated with my old manager, which is Kodak, or not Kodak, but he's a Trailblazers manager. His name is Owen. All right, so me and him were, me and Kevin were with the same managing group, but the person that I was working with decided to separate. I didn't even meet the other person that was running the thing, so I don't know who that person is. I didn't even talk to him, not one phone call, nothing. So I was on the edge of wherever Matt goes, I'm going to go. So I went with Matt, and so the phone call went to Oren, and then, so it was like awkward, and I was like, well, I'm not going to end up signing unless it goes through Matt, and if it ain't going to go through Matt, I'm not in the UFC. And then I just hung up the phone, right? So I'm in the bank with my mom, and then I get a phone call from Matt saying, hey, I just got the email, so they ended up fixing everything. And then I was like, all right, cool. So I'm dealing with the bank stuff right now. And then, but thank you. All right, send the contract. I'll go ahead and sign it. So the way I'm talking to you right now is how I'm talking to my manager. So there's no excitement. There's no excitement right now. And then as soon as I got off the phone and I looked at my mom and I said, hey, she was like, hey, what's up? Well, good news is I just got signed with the UFC. She said, oh, right. She gives me the awkward.
Congratulations.
Like, oh, congrats. Right. And
so your mom was more excited than you were?
Yeah, my mom was more excited than I was. And then so it didn't sit. So it's like not sitting. And then like, all right, I go ahead and do the whole signing contract and everything. I send it in. And then I call my cousin and I'm like, yeah. So I just got signed. He was like, yeah, so we made it. And he was like, oh, shit. Yeah, all right, good job. Yeah, he's more excited. And then I was like, oh, who they want you to fight? And I was like, some dude named something Barao or something like that. I don't watch at the time. I'm not watching UFC, so right. I don't know nothing. I don't know who Hidden Barao was or anything. But I butchered the shit out of his name. So like how you guys butchering my name, but I butchered it.
He keeps kicking me under the table.
Hey.
Yeah, I thought it was Ewok. I need my glasses.
Hey. So so I'm like over here, like I butchered his name, and they're like, dang, oh yeah, he's a pound for pound super champ. He's the ex-champ, this and that. And I'm like, yeah, so I'm supposed to go to Brazil to go fight him. So I'm gonna beat him up. And then we in. And I hang up the phone. So this is my tone the whole time. So no excitement. So I'm not jumping, I'm not doing like no backflips or anything. My tone for the whole day was just like, yeah, they want me to fight him. So I don't know who Hidden Brow was. In my mind, it was just another mark. Now I'm about to end up breaking through and then, proving my point. And then it's like, so as soon as I got in, that was, so as soon as I actually fought and I did that there, you see my excitement. And my excitement was, ended up probably breaking my hand. And then people over there, don't tell them you broke your hand. I'm like, okay, I didn't break my hand. So you hear my conversation like that. But that was my excitement after I got done fighting,
Well, given everything you were doing at the time and the nature of the situation, like, I can get that. Yeah, that's very, you can kind of, what's that word where you resonate? You can resonate with people.
So
like
I had a miscarriage the night before his fight. We spent the whole night. I was like 6 months pregnant. We spent the whole night in the hospital. Mm-hmm. And the next day he got this shit kicked out of himself in the ring. I don't know why.
Yeah, it was,
so like.
It's not a good day.
Yeah.
It was a bad day.
That was not good judgment, but like if you with it, I thought you were dumb for taking the fight, but like if it was a UFC fight, I'd be like, I don't care what's going on in your life. No offense, you take the fight, and that's what you did. That's really good judgment. I mean, yeah, emotionally, you're not going to be there. What you have going on absolutely trumps any excitement you could have. The amount of pressure that you're under, but you still went in, you still took the fight, you still pushed yourself forward, and I think that speaks volumes about your character. Because not a lot of people can do that. I don't mean any offense when I say that, babe, but like, look what happened there. Like, it takes a lot.
You pushed and you won. That was the big thing.
Yeah. So like it was definitely on that, and nothing but love you guys for that the story too. I just want to know that respect there. So,
but how did you? Coming from where you were and all that went on, how did you get your head in the space to fight? Because even hearing that you were going there, like your head's not going to be there. You're worried about your family.
Yeah.
Your life.
So that was the part that was like literally carrying, because it was like, if you would have seen like all the stuff that was happening in Brazil, you actually end up making it where it's like, okay, so you're basically just fighting because you're mad, right? So basically that whole time, like I'm on that mind frame. I'm in Brazil. I didn't get to enjoy Brazil. I didn't get to walk around Brazil until like the last day, where I only had 8 hours until I had to jump on a plane. Like
you always got to look around Brazil. Those girls are very friendly. It's like, so I'm just saying, like Brazil has the hottest chicks.
That's just
you're not lying, because I got like low key the night before. It could have been a setup. I don't know, but this woman was very bad. It was after I weighed in the night before. And a woman was in the lobby, and yeah, she was shooting her shot. Like she was shooting her shot. Like, oh, just one night, just come on. Da, 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 da. I'm like, maybe. I was like, no, actually, there's no maybe, because I was actually mindset was I had a girl at the time, which is my second son's mom. So I was 100%. I was like, stop. Don't talk to me. You know. I was like,
oh, it's a country of like Instagram baddies. There is not one unattractive chick.
No, you're not lying. You're not lying. And it's like, but I was giving myself points on this part, because I was like, if you only knew I was out here denying chicks, right? Just for you. Like that was my game when I got back. I was denying all these Brazilian women just for you, you know. But it was like full on fact. But I didn't get to end up embracing it, so I kept on going. They kept sending me to the hospital. I having to go back to the hospitals because I had this. So I had to do this the whole brain scan, the MRI scan, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I did one out here. It messed up. They messed up, and they even wrote the notes of, "Hey, we're gonna have to redo it, whatever the case is, or not redo it. He's good, X, Y, and Z." So it was good, but it kind of like showed like some type of glare. They just ended up messing up, or either I moved or they messed up. It was something, whatever the case is. But I was good. They are like, hey, yeah, when you get out here, we're just going to have to do another scan and, kind of call it a day, and then you can go ahead and fight. I'm like, all right, cool. I get out there. I don't, as soon as I get out there, we go straight to the hospital. I did the scan, and the scan comes back. I'm good. So that should have been the end of it. I even ran a few tests the following day. I'm good. Should have been the end of it. They sent me back to do another scan. I'm like, all right. They said, I'm good. Okay. Then the following day, I had to go ahead and see another doctor, a super specialist. So it went from a specialist to a super specialist to a, hey, even super master specialist of all specialists. And then a doctor that ends up overseeing the super specialist of masters of all specialists. So I sit there and seeing so many specialists.
Scans, they're trying to give you like a brain tumor at this point. Like, how many scans can we give him in a short period of time? He's coming back clean, give him cancer. Like,
it was back and forth. So I promise you. So this is my Tuesday arrival, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday morning after the weigh-ins. So I was here 4 times. Like I was at the hospital 4 days straight. So I'm cut. So the time I get back, I'm cutting weight. I go to sleep, and then I gotta get up and just to do it again. And then boom. And then meanwhile, this whole time, Hennon Brown is eating like he ain't cutting weight. So,
wait, no, like 5 pounds, something like that over the actual.
It was 5.8 pounds over, and it was to the moment where, and then here's the best part. So he's in the elevator for one of these nights, right? It was like a Wednesday night. My brother and cousin see him. They were like, yeah. You see then, and he's not even tired. Like, or no, he's pretending that he's like cutting weight. And it was like, bro, we know you're not cutting weight because we just saw you eating pancakes earlier that day, right? So it was kind of like that. And then, but my mindset was I'm already irritated and pissed off because I've been at this hospital for 4 days. And then not only that, you're not even taking it serious. And at the end of the day, I get it. This is your job on the line. Mm-hmm. And like this, if I knock him out, he would have got cut. Boom. So it's those 6 pounds or 5.8 pounds that actually saved him from getting knocked out. Yeah, and he knows that. Yeah, it made a big difference. But it was like that whole I'm trying to save my job, and it's like I get it, but at the same time, like this is what makes the difference for me.
Mm-hmm. It's also disrespectful to you. Like he's not taking that fight seriously. He's not putting in what he needs to be putting in for your fight.
And it's that part, and then that kind of like took away the $50,000 bonus I could have got because I had fight of the night. It was like one of those things. Mm-hmm. Like I stole the night type of deal. I beat the pound for pound champ, like literally the person that held the belt, and I went to his house and whooped his ass. Like, like you got to end up picturing this. Yeah. And they took away my 50K, but they gave me an extra 30 because, hey, it was out for his purse. So I was cool with the extra 30, but it should have been 30 plus an extra 50. Like I should have walked away with basically 100K that night. Like I should have walked away. That's what it should have happened. And if he would have made weight or came a little closer or two, if I would have just knocked him out, then they would have forced to give me fight of the night. But like, I don't know who got fight of the night, but my fight was a lot better than theirs. It was just one of those things.
Yeah, it's crazy how much that weight actually makes a difference. You could have, I didn't know this thing till recently too. You could have asked them to like, fine, but he can't come back like a certain weight over or something like that.
So that's what they were trying to do. At first, they were trying to get me to cancel the fight, right?
Oh my God.
Oh, hell
no. And that's exactly what you're saying. I'm already mad because I had to do the 4 days, right? Mm-hmm. And on top of that, he was eating and stuff like that. So as soon as they said, hey, he's 5.8 pounds over, I said, that's cool. So we're still fighting. And he was like, so that's my mindset. That's me. Like if you would have caught the background, because they kept on going back and forth. Mm-hmm. And it was like, well, we want this amount of money. We want 30%. I was like, I don't care. Whatever numbers y'all get, I was like, we're fighting. Like, I was like, he can keep that 5 pounds. I was like, he can keep that 6 pounds. Like whatever suits him. I was like, it is what it is. We're fighting. And then they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, there's no point of asking me if I'm sure. I'm 100% sure. I just gave you my answer. I want to fight him. We're going to fight. He already pissed me off. Y'all pissed me off. I'm already irritated. Like, we're going to fight. I was like, we're going to fight. Yeah. And then, so it was kind of like one of those like super favors that I always like, it's like one of those like cards that I have on the UFC. Like, hey, remember I did this for you? Like, and it's like one of those when you're going to cash it in. And I'm probably going to cash it in a lot sooner rather than later. Like, hey, I did you guys a favor to fight Hendon. Like, I could have easily said no, but you guys are trying to save him. But I wanted to fight, so let's go. Let's make it happen.
Honestly, you wanted to fight. Just be like, I did this because, company loyalty. And I know you guys in exchange will do this for me.
Yeah, facts. Right.
You did not want to fight him. You did it simply to help the UFC.
Yeah.
Point, period, blank. Give me a job back. Give me my job back.
That's all it is. You did it for them, so they need to do you right. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
So you've done bare knuckle boxing as well because you're insane.
Yeah.
That's all I got because you're mad. Why? Like I'm trying to phrase this as like a professional journalism question, but why? Why would you do that? Like it's
one, I'm like really good with it, and two, it comes down to that moment like violence. Like granted, I came up short in my last fight with my ex opponent. Points to that, man. The dude was he was heavy. The dude came down. We met at 45. He's a normal 55er. I'm a normal 35. We met at 45 for it. And this is those moments like I had to get him out early or, weather the storm at the end. And I almost got him out, but he weathered it. So it kind of came into that moment. But it's one of those things like when it's like human nature for me. It's like one of those, like, you know, how guys are with their football games or with their video games. It's just something that takes their mind off. And like, I've been going through so much stuff, it's not even funny. Like that story, and that's only cracking the surface of everything, you know? And my mind's like all over the place, and it's like, yeah. So that kind of placed me in like a great home. It kind of placed me with nice violence, and then on top of that, I had to bring back my killer instinct, because one thing I did have in the beginning of you know, the UFC career, or before I even got to UFC, I had a killer instinct. It was one of those, even if I became the one that didn't start it, I finished it, and that was something I always ended up having. But after that last court date that I ended up having after my Enan Barao fight, my career started to wave. And it was because my heart wasn't really in it. My heart was trying to be in it to get to my son. And then when they took that from me, that was my heart, and never really set with me until the end of, you know, my last fight with, you know, in the UFC type of deal. You ended up seeing like, hey, I put everything in my first round, and then where am I at in the second round? It's kind of like, all right, head's not all there type of deal. It came into the coaching that I had to end up switching it. It's just I switched it too late. And it ended up coming down to that the coaches that I did have, they weren't as a team to automatically put me as a whole. But where I'm at now at Icon with Sam and my my other jits coach Marcos, which is ex-coach of Aldo, jiu-jitsu coach. Yeah, so Marcos, he's a wizard and he's a genius to this game. And same as, you know, with Sam and Marcos put together, my whole game is mad different, and it developed in so many ways. So it's like, it's one of those moments I'm afraid, or people are like kind of afraid, as in when I get back in the cage, what I'm going to end up doing to, you know, these certain people, because there's certain things I was able to do or not do.
I don't know who any of these people are.
They do.
Okay.
They're really good. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Yeah. So just know, like, Marcos is like an ex. Yeah, Marcos is an ex Bellator champ. So yeah, so straight from Brazil, man is a master at not getting taken down. Like, if you ever like watch majority of Aldo's, his takedown defense is probably one of the highest. And then the crazy part is that he's a black belt, right? But how many submissions do you ever see him actually go for? It's the mindset of that, right? Where he could tap you out, but instead he'd rather go with these type of offensive maneuvers and stuff like that. And that's help of Marcos right there. So I got that piece, and then I got like one of the best strikers that's like known to the game in karate style, and he's like ended up branching. Like, my style sits with them and it fits with them, and it's my style where I don't have to end up trying to fish out. Because like the old gym that I was at, I was either I was boxing, or I was Muay Thai, or I was jits, or I was wrestling. It was never a great transition, and that was what's messing me up.
That makes sense.
So
I gotta ask this real fast.
You can ask, but can I clarify real quick?
Go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm getting from this is you have new coaches and you're wrestling and punching very well.
Facts.
Very dangerous.
Yes. Excellent. Thank you. I followed.
I have to ask, like, I've competed in martial arts throughout my life, and the smallest gloves I ever had were the MMA gloves, the 4 ounces. And so I have to know, what is it like to hit someone bare knuckle? Like, do you get worried about breaking bones? Have you broken bones? Is it softer than we expect it to be? Like, I got a lot of questions for this.
Punch plenty of people. Just, you know, feeling.
Well, hands down, like, on to answer it, I end up jumping into like every fight prepared to break my hand, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because like my hand, like, I don't know if anybody you can end up seeing, but I ended up breaking. Snapping my I ended up snapping this finger to the moment where I can't even ball it all the way. So in reality, and then, you know, people know me for my 1-2. I have a mean left hand. And it's because I throw it with a mindset of breaking. It's already broken, so I'm about to throw it like I want to break it already. So that's just, hey, I break it, guess what? I get to go to the hospital and fix it. You feel me? So that's the mindset.
Fair enough.
You know, hey, everything is covered. Let's go. Throw the hand. Like, you know. But
it's like the worst business plan ever.
No.
It is. Yeah, I mean, like, crash my truck into
I'm already gonna crash it.
Yeah, it's just like that. Your mind's, you're already gonna crash it. Now it's like I'm gonna crash it with the meaning of I'm gonna get it a whole new truck with it. So that's like
Okay.
You know. So because so that's like how it is. So I've never ever like to ball it. So my mindset's already I'm gonna break my hand. Like it'll be the first thing coming out of my mouth. Like, hey, I'm already gonna I'm gonna break my hand. And they'll look at me like, especially when my coach, because like how my mind frame like works. Like, it'd be like, hey, it's championship rounds, you got an extra round. In my head, it's like, okay. And then he's like, yeah, you didn't even bat an eye, because he already knows my mindset is I'm going to finish it in the first round, or I'm going to aim to finish everything in the first round. So that's how I'm fighting. I'm taking every round like it's the first round. So with my hand, I already know I'm going to break it, or I'm coming close to breaking it. So I'm going to throw it like I mean it, and we can worry about it after. At least I know that I gave it all. And that's how I look at it.
That's future Andre's problem.
Yes.
That's not mine right now.
Yeah.
Are you kind of like knuckle conditioning by chance, or you just
apparently on people's faces?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some moments where you can prep it by hitting the bag, bare touch it, because everything is like 100% technique off of it. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, like me, my style is based off of speed, no matter what. Like, it's speed. So by me having my hands relaxed, because, by having your hands like tense majority of the time, you get tired, you build fatigue, and next you know it, your hands end up opening, and then you come down to that whole, hey, I'm tired mode. But hands are already open off on the situation, and so the time that you do throw, you end up balling at the last second. So now it kind of comes down as in me being fast enough to ball my fist at the last minute or miss it. And if I miss it, bad shot, bad hand, separate deal. But by conditioning it, you're conditioning it off on the bag. You can do bare knuckle push-ups, fist on the floor, flat, boom. Basically strong wrists, whatever the case is. Yeah.
Why do you want to go back to the UFC? Why not go to the PFL, fight for the million? I've just heard.
Truth be told, I would like to actually go there. But everybody, like right now, PFL, if I go over there, they got to open up the 35 bracket. Like I know that I'm like moving at 40. Oh yeah, so they're starting to bring it out, but they just introduced it on their last, like one of their last fights, because one of my boys ended up fighting on there. So at the time that was the bracket, and they could have put me at 45, but it's one of those, like my record at 45, it's 50-50, because I'm going up and I'm fighting heavier guys and stuff like that, and it's like you have to have a certain yes and no's at certain things, like like time for wrestling. Like at PFL, everybody at 45 from all wrestlers, they're just going to basically hump leg the whole situation and type of ordeal,
I'm taking that line. I'm taking that line right now. That's brilliant.
And then I'm like 100% like that, full exciting. At 35, you're gonna get the full mixture, so I gotta break it down to 35. So PFL, I would like to jump over there, but the bigger platform.
Watch this show. That's why I was like, actually watch the show. That's what so yes, he wants to go to the PFL. Like, like watch.
Yeah. So
take him.
Yeah, take me, please. Yes, I'm opening up off on that one, like the PFL. But I already know it kind of comes down to like certain managers you got to end up having, and or at the time I had the good manager, but their mindset wasn't really on me. It was get me wherever they can get me, and like I ended up going to boxing, the team combat league, right?
Can I give you the best piece of advice I ever heard? I work in film, I don't work in fighting, but I think it's just as true in your industry as it is in mine. The best manager, the best agent you can ever have, you go to the biggest agency and you get the guy that just started as an agent, the guy that come out the mail. He needs you to eat, so he will get you working. You got to get the guy that needs you to eat. You got to be the most important client. If there's anyone bigger than you with your agent, you're not working. Like the people that call me nonstop, like, hey, can you put my guy in your reality show? Aren't the guys that have 30 big names. It's the young guy that needs his client working so he can pay his rent and eat. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones I get calls from constantly, and I put them in films. Like
I like what you ended up going, because the person I'm with right now, his name is Nick, Air Media. He's running it. So he's like I said, he's very hungry. He's from not even out here, like Britain or something over there. All right. And he flies out here. He's like really cool with the Ashley and stuff like that. And actually, that's actually how I met him, was through Ashley. Ashley was like, hey, I want you to meet somebody. I'm like, all right, boom, Nick, boom. All right, what's up, Nick? Boom, boom. We kind of getting cool. So anyway, so he's running it. So now, like how you said, he's that hungry. Well, granted that he's probably not on it, but he's going to definitely watch it. But I definitely want to jump on reality shows. So whoever's reality shows, let me on. I'll be in the background doing this.
I got a couple coming up. I'll give you a call.
And he is in the area.
Right. You're in the area. I have a reality show I'm doing in Temecula. So I'll call you up on that.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
We're at the end of our show, sir. Is there anything you want to give advice on to anyone who's maybe aspiring to be a cage fighter or a competitive fighter themselves?
Get a different job.
And or to the fact that if this is what you want and this is literally the living that you're asking for, you gotta go all in. You gotta go all in. There's no half stepping it. There's none of that. Hey, I got a plan B, plan C. As long as your plan B is plan A, or your plan C is plan B, which is plan B the A, then that is the advice I'm gonna end up giving you. Because you can half step it, and you're gonna end up always becoming that person that said I shoulda, coulda, and there's no time for that, you know. But if you're young, play with it. You have time before you ended up making that right choice. Because look, I didn't end up thinking about MMA until I was 27, going on 28. You got to think about that. And don't get me wrong, I probably could have been like Bobby that fought for time. I could have fought a long time when he's fought, but I was doing boxing. I was hearing that. I was trying to be a father. I was trying to enjoy what I could enjoy until someone said I wasn't good enough, or gave me the look of saying I wasn't good enough. And boom, 27, and I'm 35, turning 36 in like a couple weeks actually. So yeah,
happy early birthday.
You're good.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right.
Okay. Tell everyone again where to find you. Just give him one social media. I want you guys following him on Instagram,
Day42, and it's spelled DAII42. All right.
I'm going to put up a link. I want you all to follow him. Make sure you watch him. Tweet the PFL, poke the PFL. I fucking hate saying tweet. X the PFL. It's X's. You said fucking
whatever
kisses
they
now.
want to call it now.
X's. So X the PFL. And tell them to come get him because we love him. Thank you so much for being on the show. We'd love to have you on again. If you're up for it, you are funny as hell.
All right. Thank you. Until next time. Appreciate you guys.
Next time, sir. Bye. Okay.
He was amazing. I like him. And it was Ewell.
Thank you.
Ewell? I thought
way too
Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, don't tell him. I got it. It looked like Ewok. Your handwriting sucks. Thank you for joining us on Behind the Scenes. We'll see you next week. Good night.
This has been Behind the Scenes with Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda. Only on Talk 4 Media.